All right, today we're going to be talking about the small appliance demonstration, this upcoming project that all of you will be participating in the foods and nutrition class. So let's begin with the criteria. 1, it is a group project. You'll be doing this with your lab members, teammates. So with your team, you have an opportunity to provide your own infomercial. In this infomercial, you must complete several criteria to sell your product to the audience, which is intended freshman college students. So as many of you in class are seniors, this is intended for you. First, you must create an electronic presentation, i.e. PowerPoint, Prezi, Google presentation. Google presentation, I have to say, is probably now becoming my preference in addition to Prezi. Emails, I like them, but I've often locked out of them, so it's difficult for me to grade them without at least bothering you. And then, so with the electronic presentation, informing the audience what your small kitchen appliance is, maybe a little bit historical facts, identify the features of it, common uses, any safety factors, how much it costs, where you can get it. And then additionally, you kind of create your own cooking show. But what we're going to do this time, instead of doing a cooking show video, you're going to take still photos, and then we're going to create a tutorial through Snap Guide. So you'll do editing to it and add in like the bit-by-bit advice. And then lastly, you'll need to provide a sample of your recipe. So that will be done in class prior to presentation date. So continuing on, what you'll need to turn in a copy of your presentation to me. That'll include the criteria down below. It says with a video and dialogue, no, again, we're going to do still photos for that. An approved recipe featuring your small appliance. I must pre-approve your recipe, ladies and gentlemen, because I have some criteria about them. Lastly, you're to provide a class a sample of your demonstration. Now, these samples should be just a bite-sized amount. This should not be a meal to the whole class. So you're going to set your servings to about, just to stay conservative, because some classes flux more than others, let's set it to 28 people, please. Moving on. You'll be able to store your samples in the refrigerators. That is a definite because we'll be making them in class for the most part. Your video or your slideshow presentation demonstration will be done one day in class only. So when I say that, I will schedule one day. I think I have it scheduled the day before the presentations are due, that I will give you lab time, the whole class, to prepare your meal and to take your photos. As homework, you guys will need to do the narrations, like do the editing to the photos and type in the text that goes with each phase of the tutorial and upload it to Snap Guide. So there will be some homework for you. You'll need to take still shots with your iPads at each phase of the cooking preparation process and an image of at least the near end product. We may not have it completely done, but it better be pretty close. In turn, you will upload to Snap Guide, which is a free kind of Pinterest, Evernote food, something similar to that. It's not Pinterest in the sense that it collects from other areas. It's just its own food sourcing where people submit recipes in a tutorial-like fashion. And this will include instructions at each step and the overall recipe at the very end. If you go into Snap Guide, you can easily browse through all the others and see the exact formula that they use. Please note, for your recipes, the recipe must include a minimum of 1 ingredient per member of the group. And there's a reason why. Because this is the only lab that I'm going to expect you to supply your own ingredients for it. So each member must contribute at least 1 item. I'm saying this again, you will bring in your own ingredients for this. Now, if something should happen where you're going to say, Ms. T, I can't bring it in. I can't get to a grocery store. I don't drive. My parents, they can't do this. You will need to tell me in advance as soon as you know your recipe and what your ingredient is, and you will need to write on a piece of paper or preferably email me what your lab number is, your block, your kitchen number, what you're making, and the ingredient you need in the quantity. So if it's block 1, kitchen 3, and you're making a vegetable pizza appetizer thing with cream cheese base, and you're supposed to be the one to bring in the 8-ounce package of cream cheese, you're going to pretty much need to tell me all that. Especially the 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Okay, this does not include salt, pepper, and spices. I have all those. Those you'll be using from me. The equipment you'll be using from me. What you'll need is the primary main ingredients, I should say. Also, at least 4 steps in the procedure list. It cannot be just open a jar, open a package, and then heat it up. So let's say for crock pot, where you open up a pre-packaged bag of meatballs and a jar of barbecue sauce, dump them in there, and done. That will not cut it for this presentation. You need at least 4 steps to which you are preparing ingredients, cooking ingredients, and assembly. We need those 3 stages. Also, you cannot use boxed items or prepackaged items without asking me first. Originally, I was going to say completely no to any box or prepackaged items. And then I started to think, well, okay. So the no would be your lab group saying, we're going to do brownies and we're going to use box brownies. And one person's going to bring in the box of brownie mix, another person brings in the eggs, and one person brings in the oil, and we're done. No. No, you're not. Not even close. Even if you say, well, somebody else will bring in the frosting. No. What I'm looking for is for you to make something from scratch. Now, so when I say I will approve in some cases, I will approve possibly if you said we're going to make cupcakes and we're going to make frosting ourselves because we're going to feature the KitchenAid mixer or a hand mixer for frosting. Okay, depends on that frosting. So if somebody brings in cream cheese, confectioner's sugar, which is powdered sugar, the milk, flavorings, maybe some embellishments, garnishes, pretty sprinkles or something like that, whatever it is, or flavorings to go into the cupcakes. So you can buy the box mix of the cupcake mix and then maybe some flavorings to go into the cupcakes. It will take a little agreement between us. So we're going to have to negotiate that. It's just got to go beyond where it's just dump and deliver. I hope I'm clear. Okay, so the grading. Should any of this may become difficult for you, please speak to me immediately. I cannot help you if it's later on. Again, especially if it comes to ingredients. I prefer you to email them to me. Cannot reiterate that enough. So grading. Approval of small appliance, providing your own if you want to or if you need to, or you can use one of mine with pre-approval. I have things like KitchenAid mixers, hand mixers, microwaves, a George Foreman grill machine. I have even an ice cream maker, stuff like that. So many of these things I do have, but some of you have some really unique, kitschy, small appliances out there. The quesadilla maker. Okay, I'll take that. Now, back to that whole couple steps, then you're going to need to make more than just a cheese quesadilla. Just saying. So I have to pre-approve it. And then with the presentation, electronic presentation, you're going to need to identify the type of equipment it is. Is it a prep, a cooking, a baking, a holding or storage, something like that. And also remember, You got to sell this. You're going to market it. You got to create some flair to your presentation, some humor, something to keep it interesting. So you need to tell us what's a special product. You got to sell it. Sell, sell, sell. Tell the college student that's moving into the dorm why they need to have this product over all the others. They don't need that crock pot. They need the George Foreman grill, and you're going to sell them that George Foreman grill or whatever it is. You're going to then look up colleges that accept your appliances, because let me tell you, many of these are on the no dorm list. So you need to tell students which ones will take it. Like, give some examples, at least 3. And other appealing factors of your appliance. So why, again, back to what's so special, like you want this because maybe it's easy to store. It's not too loud, so you can make that bullet smoothie at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're cramming late at night. Think in those contexts. Identify the kitchen appliance brand. So now that you decided, I want to do, okay, we just talked about blenders and the bullet. Decide I'm going to do blenders, and I really want to feature the bullet because the bullet seems the most dorm friendly of all of them. All right, that's what you're really going to hone in on, and that's where you're going to really sell the attachments to it, what comes with that package, average cost, identify the features, any additional tools that come with it. Well, that bullet, it comes with a shaker top. You can then have your own Parmesan shaker, something like that. And then common uses. So you could say it makes smoothies, it makes soups, it makes salsas, and then probably kind of look for some dorm recipes or dorm meals. You don't need actual recipes to be put up there, but give some suggestions from dorm cookbooks. You can look them up online. Common uses with the bullet, and put that in there. You are then going to talk about the downsides of your product. So with that, it's like, well, the bullet's been a great one. However, there's been a few issues, some manufacturer recalls, or they read customer reviews. Let me tell you, customers, they share everything. If you see customers complain that the lids warp after a while and they don't screw on, or the blades get dull, or they warm up too much and the motor dies. So you got to talk about those downsides. And then you got to price compare it to at least 3 other projects. So you could have the Magic Bullet versus the Nutri Bullet versus a whole other one that's out there. The Black & Decker or something. 3 places where to purchase them. Amazon, Bed Bath Beyond, Target. You just look them up, find out, and that's where you can find out prices. I say 5+ images, especially of what it should look like, the price comparison, like store brand logos, and going back to where it says, common uses. Suggest 2 dorm room meals for your appliance. If you could have pictures of those meals, that'd be stellar. Grammar, spelling, structure, all that kind of stuff. And then so overall video, slideshow, recipe, accurate use of the equipment. So does it actually, the recipe that you end up giving us, the tasting, does it match your equipment or not in your slideshow? Does it look correct that you use it? Were you appropriate and safe? Presentation abilities, public speaking, yes, they do count. It does count, fortunately, for some. Editing, photo, video quality, and then the food sample. We all want that food sample. Pertaining to, so then the SNAP guide. I suggest when you're preparing your meal, have somebody stand on the other side of the prep table and work together, one person at each shot. Take the photos. I take multiple photos so that you are able to select the best ones. Different angles, like if you, whether or not to have that hand in place, mixing the ingredients or just where they're all lined up. So again,